Hello everyone. What does an indie game developer like me uses to create games? Let's find out. The first item we will be looking at is my computer, and I'm using the 13-inch Retina Macbook Pro from early 2015. The reason why I'm using a MacBook instead of a Windows computer is, on a MacBook you can build for both iOS and Android, and you can also build for all three computer platforms. You can build for macOS, you can build for Windows, and you can build for Linux. I also prefer the user interface of macOS above Windows. It's kind of weird to make games on a MacBook because Macs are well known for not being really good at gaming, but the games I make are all really small indie games, so they can all run perfectly fine on a MacBook. I have the MacBook standing on a 12 South Ghost stand. I really like how this looks. It kind of looks like it's floating or whatever. When I'm at home, I connect my MacBook to an external monitor. It's an Ultrasharp 1080p display. I chose it because it's a really narrow borders, and I was looking for a 1080p screen. I'm now thinking about maybe getting the same display with 1440p, but yeah. We'll see when that happens. Next up on my peripherals. For my Mac, I use a Magic keyboard, just a regular, the old one with the batteries, not the rechargeable one they sell now. I also prefer this kind of keyboard over the one that's in my MacBook and also in the new Magic keyboard. These are a little taller and have a little more travel distance, so it feels more tactile. I wouldn't say it's as much as a mechanical keyboard, but it's, in my opinion, pretty close. Don't kill me for that. And I use the Apple Magic mouse, also the old one with the batteries, not the new rechargeable one. I don't think it's the best mouse, but in OS X you really use a lot of gestures, so this mouse allows me to do that. Maybe in the future I will swap to a Magic trackpad with a normal mouse, but we'll see if that ever happens. But I do also have another mouse, which is the Steelseries Rival 100 in white. I really like how this mouse looks. I was looking for a good gaming mouse because, as you guys maybe know, the Apple Magic mouse isn't really good for gaming, so I needed another mouse to do that. And for my Windows desktop, I have a Windows desktop running Windows 10 Pro. It has a Intel Core i5 4590 clocked at 330 GHz. I have 8 gigs of RAM, and I have a GTX 760. For my desktop, I have a pretty shitty Packard Bell standard membrane keyboard. I really hate it, but it's the only thing that works. Usually I have my MacBook and Windows PC turned on at the same time, so I can use share mouse to share my mouse and keyboard, but I will make a video on that maybe later. And the headphones I have are the ATH M50X MG. MG is the limited edition gray version. Last winter I did an internship in Korea and I found a web store that sold these, so I decided to pick one up for a Christmas gift for myself. I usually use them to listen to music. If you're making games, you're not always making games for the same platforms. Maybe sometimes you make it for mobile, sometimes you make it for PC, which you can play with a mouse and keyboard, but sometimes you also want to have controller support. So I have the Xbox 360 controller with the wireless receiver for Windows. So I can plug them in to my Windows computer, or rather connect them wirelessly to my Windows computer. When I go to game jams, I always bring these controllers because local multiplayer games are always fun to play and make on game jams. Then for mobile games, I usually test them on my iPhone, which I'm filming on right now. It's an iPhone 7 and I used an iPhone 6 and iPhone 5 previously. Up until recently, I didn't know you could actually build for iOS without a developer account, but actually you can. But before that I used a Huawei phone. I don't know which model it is. My dad got this phone from his company, but he didn't like it, so he switched back to an iPhone. But I used this one to test most of the mobile games I had. It's pretty nice because it's not a really high-end device, so for game testing it's better to render games on lower-end devices so you know it runs on every device. Because if it will run on a shitty Android phone, it will run on a high-end Android or an high-end iPhone. And then for backup, backup is extremely important. In college, one teacher always hammered on us that if you're doing backup, don't back up stuff on one place, but always make sure you have your files in 3 different places. So one is your computer, one is an external drive, or one is maybe another external drive in a safe or somewhere. So I followed their advice and I have 3 backup drives. I have 2 Western Digital drives, one is 2 terabytes and one is 1 terabyte. And I have the old hard drive from my old MacBook in a external hard drive enclosure, which is 500 gigabytes. The way I use them is the 500 gigabytes drive is just additional storage. And then I have the 2 terabyte drive, which is a complete backup of all my files. Everything I own is on that drive. So if it breaks, I'm pretty much messed up. The 1TB used to be the time machine from my old MacBook. I never set it up for this MacBook because I don't think Time Machine is the best way to do that. I find it really annoying to every time plug in my hard drive to sync it up. I use these hard drives in addition to cloud storage to have the 3 places for all my work. So one is my MacBook, one is the hard drive, and the other one is on multiple cloud storages. If you have any questions about any of the devices I have, leave them in the comments down below. And if you want to know what I run on my computer in terms of software, I will gladly make a video about that, but leave me in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.